Did you know your turbocharged engine is far more likely to fail than a regular naturally aspirated engine? Did you know Toyota, the company people trust more than almost any brand on earth, recalled 232,000 vehicles in just 60 days? And did you know that since 2015, more than 4.3 million engines have been recalled across the industry? Nobody at the dealership mentioned that part, did they? Because the truth is, the entire auto industry has been selling you a story. A story about efficiency, innovation, and modern engineering. But behind that polished showroom pitch is a dirty little secret that most car buyers never hear until it's too late. And once you hear it, you'll never look at modern engines the same way again. The dirty secret behind almost every new car. Here's what your salesperson isn't going to tell you when you're standing in the showroom, pen in hand, ready to sign a 6-year loan on a brand new vehicle. Almost every new car sold in 2026 is turbocharged. Not because turbo engines are automatically better, not because they're more durable, not because they're more reliable. They're everywhere because automakers were pushed into them. Government fuel economy rules forced manufacturers to shrink engines down to smaller displacements so they could hit fuel economy targets on paper. But there was one big problem. When you make an engine smaller, you also lose power. So what did automakers do? They bolted on a turbocharger, got the horsepower back, slapped a fancy badge on the trunk, and called it innovation. And to be fair, on paper, it looks great. The numbers look similar, sometimes even better. Same horsepower, better torque, better MPG. The brochure looks fantastic. But the brochure doesn't tell you what happens when all that extra heat, pressure, and complexity starts aging. And that's where things get ugly. How we got here. Think about the cars and trucks people used to trust without question. The Toyota Camry used to be the king of simple, dependable transportation. Naturally aspirated engine, proven design, easy to live with. The Ford F-150 built its empire on V8 power and long-term durability. GM sold millions of Silverados and Sierras with old-school V8 engines that owners trusted for years. Now, look at what's happened. Toyota is leaning into smaller, more complicated turbo setups. Ford replaced big V8 loyalty with EcoBoost everything. GM literally shoved a turbocharged 4-cylinder into a full-size truck and told buyers it was the future. And here's the scary part. If you just glance at the window sticker, you might not even realize how different these engines really are. Because horsepower numbers can look the same. Fuel economy numbers can look close. The badge on the hood still looks familiar. But under the hood, completely different game. Why turbo engines fail differently? A turbocharger sounds simple enough. It uses exhaust gases to spin a turbine, and that turbine forces more air into the engine. More air means more combustion, more power, and more performance from a smaller engine. That's the sales pitch. But here's the part they leave out. That turbine can spin at up to 300,000 RPM. And the only thing standing between that turbo and total destruction is engine oil. That's it. One thin stream of oil, one lubrication system, one weak link, and if that oil flow gets interrupted, degraded, overheated, or contaminated, the turbo doesn't just wear out, it can self-destruct. That's why turbo engines come with failure points that naturally aspirated engines simply don't have. Failure point number 1, heat. Turbochargers run insanely hot. We're talking temperatures that can push toward 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not normal engine heat. That's extreme thermal stress. Now imagine you've just been towing, driving hard, or cruising on the highway. You pull into a parking spot, turn the key off, and walk away. The engine stops, the oil pump stops, but the turbo is still cooking. That leftover heat can literally bake the oil trapped inside the turbo bearing housing. Over time, it creates carbon deposits that clog oil passages and choke lubrication. You won't notice it at first. No warning, no dramatic smoke show. Just silent damage building up until the day it finally lets go. Failure point number 2, oil starvation. This is where things get really expensive. Turbochargers need a constant supply of clean oil, and they need it all the time. Old oil, low oil, wrong oil, delayed oil changes, any of that can start a chain reaction. And once that bearing starts running dry, it's game over. This is why turbo engines are much less forgiving of neglect than old naturally aspirated engines. Miss an oil change on a basic old-school engine and maybe you get away with it. Miss an oil change at the wrong moment on a turbo engine, and you could be staring at a repair bill worth thousands. Failure point number 3, carbon buildup. Most turbo engines today also use direct injection. Great for efficiency, great for emissions. Not always great for long-term cleanliness. In older engines, fuel sprayed across the intake valves and helped keep them clean. Direct injection skips that step entirely. The fuel goes straight into the combustion chamber, and the intake valves are left to collect carbon over time. That buildup restricts airflow, causes rough idle, triggers misfires, hurts performance, and can eventually force you into expensive cleaning procedures. Some owners are facing much earlier than they ever expected. So now that you know why turbo engines can be risky, let's get to the part you came for. The 5 turbo engines to avoid in 2026. Number 5. GM's 2.7-liter TurboMax. This is the engine GM wants you to believe can replace a proven V8 in a full-size truck. That alone should make you stop and think. The 2.7 TurboMax has solid torque on paper, and GM loves marketing it as a modern, efficient alternative to the old 5.3-liter V8. But owners and complaint data have raised real concerns about oil consumption. And when you've got a turbo engine burning through oil faster than expected, that is not some cute little quirk. That's a serious concern, because oil is the lifeblood of the turbo. The bigger problem? We still don't have enough long-term data. This engine hasn't had decades to prove itself the way the V8 did. So if you're buying a truck for the long haul, towing, hauling, and keeping it past 150,000 miles, you're basically being asked to trust an unfinished story. Number 4. Hyundai Kia 1.6-liter Gamma Turbo. This one showed up in a bunch of Hyundai and Kia models, and it brought some ugly baggage with it. The big problems included excessive oil consumption, piston ring issues, and in worst cases, full engine failure. Some of the documented failures didn't just strand owners, they introduced fire risk. That's not just inconvenience. That's danger. If you're shopping used and you're looking at a Hyundai or Kia from the years tied to this engine family, you need to treat that VIN check like it's mandatory, because it is. Number 3. Volkswagen Audi EA888 2.0 Turbo. This engine is everywhere. Jetta, Tiguan, Golf, A4, Q5, you name it. And yes, some owners love them, but the EA888 also carries a reputation for timing chain issues, fuel system problems, and carbon buildup that can hit surprisingly early if maintenance isn't perfect. That's the catch with a lot of VW and Audi turbo cars. When they're maintained obsessively, they can be fine. But the moment the previous owner skipped oil changes, delayed service, or ignored warning signs, you inherit the bill. And in the used market, that is a gamble a lot of people lose. Number 2. Ford's 1.5-liter EcoBoost. This is where things stop being just annoying and start becoming dangerous. Ford's 1.5-liter EcoBoost has been linked to coolant intrusion issues. That means coolant can get into the cylinders, and when that happens, you're talking about misfires, stalling, hydrolock, and in some cases, catastrophic engine failure. Think about that for a second. Not a noisy lifter, not a check engine light, not a rough idle. An engine that can shut down or destroy itself because coolant is going where it absolutely should not be going. If you're looking at a used Escape, Bronco Sport, or another Ford with this engine, you need to know exactly what model year you're buying, and exactly what problems it's known for. Number 1. Toyota's 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6. And here's the one that makes people mad. Toyota. The brand people buy because they want to avoid exactly this kind of problem. The company that built its reputation on engines that just keep going. And yet this specific twin-turbo V6 has become one of the biggest reliability warning signs in the current market. Toyota issued major recalls tied to this engine family, including low oil pressure concerns and crankshaft bearing failure risks. In an incredibly short span of time, 232,000 Toyota and Lexus vehicles were recalled. That doesn't mean every Toyota is suddenly bad. It doesn't mean Toyota forgot how to build a car. But it does mean one very important thing. A Toyota badge is not a force field. If the engine design has a serious problem, the logo on the grille won't save you. The turbo engines that actually deserve respect Now let's flip this around, because not every turbo engine is a disaster. Some actually earned their reputation. Winner number 1, BMW's B58 3.0-liter turbo inline-six. This engine is one of the biggest surprises in the modern car market because it comes from BMW, a brand people don't usually associate with low-drama ownership. But the B58 has become one of the most respected turbo engines in the business. Smooth, strong, refined, and far more durable than many people expected. It powers everything from BMW sedans and SUVs to the Toyota GR Supra, and it has built a genuinely solid reputation. Yes, BMW ownership is still expensive, but the engine itself, legitimately impressive. Winner number 2, Honda's 1.5-liter VTEC Turbo. If you want a mainstream affordable turbo engine with a real reputation behind it, this is one of the safest bets. Honda's 1.5-liter turbo, especially in newer model years, has proven itself far better than a lot of the competition. It's efficient, easy to live with, and backed by a brand that still understands long-term ownership better than most. Earlier versions had some concerns in colder climates, but overall, this engine has done something a lot of modern turbo engines haven't. It earned trust. How to protect yourself if you already own a turbo car. If you already own one of these engines, don't panic, but do this. Number 1, never skip oil changes. Not whenever you get around to it. Not I'll go another 3,000 miles. On time, every time. Number 2, let the engine cool down after hard driving. If you've been towing, driving fast, or spending a long time on the highway, don't just shut it off instantly. Give the turbo a minute or two to cool properly. Number 3, check your oil level regularly. Not once a year, not only when the warning light pops up. Regularly. Number 4, run the VIN before buying used. Open recalls, known failures, and service history matter more on turbo engines than most people realize. The truth nobody wants to say out loud. So are turbo engines reliable? Some of them are. Some of them absolutely are not. That's the real answer. Turbocharged engines can make great power, improve efficiency, and work beautifully when they're engineered right and maintained properly. But they are also more complex, run hotter, and punish neglect much harder than naturally aspirated engines ever did. And that means buyers need to stop assuming every modern turbo engine is automatically better just because it's newer. Because newer doesn't always mean better. Smaller doesn't always mean smarter. And a trusted badge on the hood doesn't erase bad engineering. So now I want to hear from you. Are you driving a turbocharged engine right now? Or are you sticking with naturally aspirated power while you still can? Drop your car, truck, or SUV in the comments. And if you want more brutally honest auto content like this, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.